we decided that, let's just jump into this and start working to conserve the environment. But only conserving the environment is not going to help, because it's important to also make sure that people listen to us. And when will they listen to us? If you give them something.
Yes.
And in that whole journey, or many more journeys like that, I realized there were two problems that really needed to be worked on. One was the waste management issue. And secondly, the issue of livelihoods in rural areas. Because of that, they are migrating to the cities because there's no livelihoods available in the rural areas. So,
honest to our feelings towards our planet, we have always had a lot of gratitude and love towards it, as it is the provider, the nurturer, the witness of our birth, and the one who accepts us back once we are done with our existence in it. Though we boast of loving and being grateful to nature, how are we exactly expressing it? You're listening to Wominspiria, your podcast for the true sense of inspiration you need from real people narrating real stories of their struggles, their ideas, and above all, giving hope, which assures that every human is capable to bring a change. All you need is a spark. Not talking about spark, when we want to bring a change, not everyone is capable of being able to execute the ideas they have in mind. There's where a leader comes in the picture and shows you the right path, helping all your ideas get life and cause changes. Today's guest is also one such leader who is acting as a spark, as a pathbreaker, and showing many the solution to a dependency which is not safe for us, yet has become a part of our lives. Plastics. Though we are aware that plastics are non-biodegradable and have a life multifolds than ours, Amita Deshpande and her team are reviving these plastics to reusable products and saving us from the guilt of causing landfills. But mind you, we are not promoting or encouraging you to create any more plastic waste. In fact, they wish that someday these wastes stop coming and that they can help the earth from other problems.
Hello and welcome to the Wominspiria podcast. Today, I grab the opportunity of talking to a revolutionary. Somebody who has turned the "is it even possible" to "yes, of course it is," and is saving us from the guilt of adding unnecessary landfills to the soil and letting it breathe, by saving us from the guilt of using plastics. Once her team and her gets hold of plastics, they are giving it a new life and saving us from being guilty of not giving a good future to our nature. Amita Deshpande, she is the CEO and founder of Recharkha. To the best of our memories, we remember using charkha only by Gandhiji and that of handloom with weaving saris and mats. She is giving a new face to it by adding a re in front of it. Re means to give a new life. So let's get to know more from her. Hello and welcome to the podcast, Amita.
hi, Revati. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you very much. So I'm really glad to talk to somebody who's causing a great revolution in something which has been really poisonous but was unavoidable throughout our lives: plastics. So when I begin, the first thing I do is I ask my guests that what are the two affirmations that you say to your mirror every morning?
I always start the day thinking of what I'm going to do today. Okay, so it never starts on a lazy note, because it's something very passionate that I'm trying to do. So it's, what is it going to bring today? That's one of the most important affirmations that it is. And I also feel what change am I going to bring to the world? That's the second affirmation that I'm going to bring. So it's, from my end, what I'm going to get, and the second end, what the world is going to get from me.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So moving forward, Amita, tell us, who is Amita? And tell us about your journey.
Oh, who is Amita? Amita is just a regular woman who is trying to see that we have a better planet for the future generations. So that's what Amita is, and that's what she's trying to do. That's what she's trying to bring about, the change in people's mind. Because yes, we are cleaning up the planet, we are providing employment, but what we're primarily doing is making the change here. And that's what had happened to me about 16 years ago, when I myself was in my school. When I was in school, in my early teens, I had found out that somewhere in the textbooks, I think 8th or 9th standard textbooks, that plastic is not degradable, and thermocol is not degradable. All these things which we are trying to use as disposables are not degradable. So it was such a contrary thing, trying to understand that yes, we're using it as disposable, means we're going to use it once and throw away. But secondly, it's not degradable, means it has a long life.
Yes.
So how can you use something which has a long life only once and throwing it away? Okay. So this was a question which a little kid, about 13, 14-year-old kid, got in her mind. And she started wondering what could she do about it. So she started herself so I gave up my own use of disposables. I stopped using plastic. I used to give lectures to all the shopkeepers around my place, that let's not use plastic. आप क्यों दे रहे हो plastic bag भैया, मुझे मत दो. And I used to pester all my family members and friends to do the same.
Wow.
And so I participated in several competitions, in school competitions about pollution and all of that. And I really researched on this topic while I was a kid. As I grew up, I didn't know that this could be a career. So I went on to do a regular career, like almost everybody did in that 2000, early 2000s, was going into engineering. So I went into engineering. I was in Pune, actually. Originally, I was in Silvassa, Dadra Nagar Haveli, and then I moved to Pune for my further education. And when I came to Pune, I started pursuing my engineering degree. I started realizing that I can also do a lot of social activities in and around the city that I'm doing. So I started going for treks and used to go clean up mountains and forts there. Then I had started also realizing that what disposables we had been using as urban dwellers, rural people had also started using them. And like in the cities, there is somebody to clean up our waste and take it to somewhere where we can't see it. It's still there, but where we can't see it. In the rural areas, that somewhere is not there. So it is just lying around on the nooks and corners of the villages. And looking at that, I always kept wondering that what can I do to this? What can me, being an engineering student and then potential engineer, do to this? So I kept volunteering. Even after I finished my engineering, I got a job in the IT sector, just like you. Started working in the IT sector, and again kept volunteering. And really slowly I started realizing, and so had my bosses and my teammates, that I was not meant to be a developer only. I had many more facets to my personality that I could explore. So my then mentors advised me, why don't you take up I was anyways planning to do a master's. So they advised to take up a master's program, and I did that. So I went to the US to do my master's. I completed my master's degree from Purdue. And the degree was a management degree, but the focus was on sustainability and CSR, corporate social responsibility. So I worked in the US for a few years, and then I moved back to India because I wanted to. I never wanted to settle down in a foreign country, especially not in the US or none other country, actually. So I wanted to come back and work for my own country. So I came back in 2013, and while I came back, I also wanted to travel around and research what exactly I wanted to do. So I took up a few assignments in rural India to work there and identify the basic problems that people there were facing. While on one of those journeys, I got caught up in the Kedarnath floods, which had happened in 2013, remember? So I was on the Himachal side. I was on the Himachal side of the floods, and it was equally devastating, though there was not a lot of loss to life, but a lot of loss to property in that area. And we were stuck there, me and a couple of my friends who were with me, we were all stuck. And while we were there, we had started realizing that this is what we want to really work on, is how the environment is finally, telling us that stop,
Yes.
you are coming too much into my territory.
Correct.
And humans are not realizing it. So we decided that, let's just jump into this and start working to conserve the environment. But only conserving the environment is not going to help, because it's important to also make sure that people listen to us. And when will they listen to us? If you give them something.
Yes.
And in that whole journey, or many more journeys like that, I realized there were two problems that really needed to be worked on. One was the waste management issue, which then obviously the environment conservation is also achieved with that. And secondly, the issue of livelihoods in rural areas. Because of that, they are migrating to the cities because there's no livelihoods available in the rural area. So trying to merge these two things is what I decided to do as my little, bit to my life and to the world. And that's how this whole idea was born of EcoSocial livelihoods or EcoSocial development. So originally I started a company called Arohana EcoSocial Developments. And then just about a couple of years ago, we restructured the company, and it's now called Recharkha, which is more aligned to what we do actually. So the whole story, that's how it all started. And it's been an exciting journey. That's where Amita found her inspiration to do what she really wanted to do, what she has set out to do.
Beautiful, beautiful. So when you told me you first named it Arohana, right? So that itself sounded quite inspiring, because that is something that yes,
exactly.
Yes,
that was the whole reason of naming it as Arohana, because Arohana is like
elevating.
taking
Yes,
the flight.
Yes, being inclined towards something. Wow. Yes, and also nature gives us lots of warnings, but we only learn it the hard way. And the same has happened to you once in fact, my next question was going to be about which was your eureka moment to start this entire mission. And you told me about it. It would have been really challenging. Yes. And of course, but there are times like we take resolutions, when we are struck with something really challenging, we do take resolutions, but then we forget to sustain it. But you're sustaining it, and you're creating a lot of opportunities for people out there. Yes.
Because I want more and more people to join us from that, and
of course
bring it as an inspiration.
Yes. And building a community with like-minded people, it's not an easy task to do. So tell me, how challenging was your journey to build Recharkha?
Lots of challenges, Revati. So there's not a single one that I could talk about, but everything right from identifying where the waste is to be collected, in what form it should be collected, trying to struggle with the people who usually dump all of their waste together in an unsegregated manner. Like I said, they're trying to bring about the change here. So that was very important. Secondly, building a team. So luckily we found a very beautiful team in our own village. So the place that I come from, Dadra Nagar Haveli, very close to the place I used to live. There's a small village, and people there showed interest that they want to take up the work that we want to teach them. And they are all tribals, and the best part is these tribals are youngsters, in their late teens and early 20s. And that was the best thing that happened, because they are the crux and core of what we do. So we decided to employ them full time, because only then would they get a source of security for their livelihoods. So we did that. And the second workshop we started was in Pune, where the final product is made. So these two setups were important, and good teams were important to make these setups possible. And most importantly, the admin team who would do what, if you're making something, it's important to sell it also. So how to bring about the whole admin team together. And I am really lucky to say that we have a lot of passionate people in our team, and they joined us first as volunteers or as customers, and then became our employees. So, they come from a very interesting background themselves. So these were some challenges, but, the challenges turned into opportunities actually. And that's what is important in sustaining yourself. And, the morning, the motivation to wake up and do something. This is what is important, I feel.
Yes. Having a purpose for your life.
Yes.
True. Yes. So it's like once you start doing something out of passion, the entire universe conspires to bring you to it.
Yes, totally.
Yes. Amita, I would love to know the sustainable development goals of Recharkha.
We actually fit into all sustainable development goals, but the ones that United Nations have developed. But I feel things that, like our sustainable development goals, I would say, obviously one is conserving the environment, which is through waste management. Second is community development. So it's not just about providing livelihoods, but it is providing eco-social livelihoods, because whatever people are going to do is what is the direct impact of their doing on their surroundings. So if suppose I start, my livelihood is dependent on making chemicals which are harmful to the environment, that's what I'm going to do more, because I want to earn more income through that. And eventually I'm going to keep making more chemicals. So instead of that, if we do eco-social activities, people will do eco-social activities, and that's how the environment is and the society is going to get benefited from it. So that's the second thing, eco-social livelihoods. And third and most important thing is changing people's behavior in two senses. One is in terms of their consumption patterns, as to what are they using and what are they going to throw away, so making them think about the entire life cycle of the product. And secondly, changing their perception towards buying things. So for example, our products are made of upcycled plastic, so instead of going and buying new plastic products from the market, like your resin bags and all other products, such as the resin polyester products, we are providing an alternative. So making people understand these alternatives and choices, because that's what is driving the economy eventually, right?
Yes, it is. Yes. So let's talk about Recharkha. What are the processes that happen there? Where does it start and where does it end?
So I'm going to show you what we use in Recharkha.
Sure.
So these are our raw material. Our very infamous plastic bag, which has been banned like multiple times by the governments, and it is still being used because people just don't understand that it is not degradable. Then these kind of packets, which all are food and other items, come packed in. Then these bad boys, these are your gift wrappers. We really don't need, but we still keep using them. Some other things which are obsolete now, but were really being used in the past.
Yes. It was a part of our family.
So this is our raw material.
Yes.
So this entire thing is our raw material. And with that, we make this.
Wow. Beautiful.
Bags, the cushion covers behind me, laptop sleeve that I have in front. All of this so is made. I'm going to show you all a short 1-minute video, which actually will walk you through what we do and how we do it.
Sure.
So we first collect all the plastic waste.
Yes.
Wrappers and plastic bags. Wash and sanitize them. Sort them into different colors. These are all original. Then we take a charkha handloom. So this is the entire process of handloom weaving, where we finally make fabric from waste plastic. This is all done by our tribal women and youth, so that we create employment for them.
Wow. Those were lovely. Yes. So Amita, would you take this opportunity to thank your team and people who have been throughout your journey?
Of course, of
Because
course.
each and every process, I understand, right from picking those, cleaning, drying them, and using the spindle, everything, each and every step requires a huge team.
Yes. So we have
Yes,
about 40 people now in the team.
yes.
And I thank each and every one of them every day.
Hmm.
Though obviously I'm the boss, I have to tell them if they're going wrong.
Of
But
course.
I am grateful to them every single day of my life. Especially the admin team, because they're doing it really out of passion. They have left their corporate careers to do what they're doing, and help the beneficiaries who are the grassroots team of our artisans.
Hmm.
And of course, most importantly, our supporters, our customers, our friends and relatives. Actually, our friends and relatives, you were the first customers,
Customers,
those are
yes.
the ones who gave us the inspiration to continue to do what we do. So I think all of these people, family members, obviously, all of these are the most important people who are a part of Recharkha. So that's why while we restructured it, we renamed it as Recharkha, the
Hmm.
EcoSocial tribe. So
Tribe,
we all are a tribe. It's not just
yes,
me who started it. It is all these people who have started it. I
of
just
course.
got the opportunity to give it the first shot to take it
Yes.
ahead.
Hmm.
But there are millions of memories already with me about each and every individual who's been a part of this journey.
Yes, lovely. All right. So before we wind up, I just want to know about your volunteer program. In many of your videos, I've seen that you ask people
Yes.
just if they want to join you, they can join the volunteer program. Do elaborate us about that.
Sure. We call it the EcoSocial Buddy program. And
Hmm.
the whole idea is to, again, create this tribe and expand it as much as possible. And we are looking for volunteers, EcoSocial buddies across all around the planet,
Hmm.
because everywhere, whatever you do is going to impact that.
Yes.
um that much of the towards the planet. So if
Hmm.
you're in India, and you're in Pune, most importantly, you can come and volunteer with us in our office, because we have lots of things to do here in our workshop and in our office. So that's one thing that you can do. The second part, if you're in different countries or cities, what you can do is help us in, first of all, reducing the plastic waste in the first place. So talking about it, inspiring others, like what I
Hmm.
have been doing since childhood. Secondly, you could be promoters of our products. So you could either be our resellers, or you could just talk about them and get, a good word of mouth publicity for us. You could be our volunteers in helping us bring more people to the table. So like I said, a lot of the volunteers have converted into being our employees. So yeah, these are various things actually. Whatever we
Yes.
do, you can do it your bit in your own place. I think that will make a large difference. And that's what EcoSocial Buddy program is. So we have on our website, we have a link. If you want to join the EcoSocial Buddy programs, go ahead and
Hmm.
join it. We'll add you to our WhatsApp group. And on that, we keep putting out opportunities wherever you can volunteer.
Yes.
That's
That's
the whole
lovely.
idea.
That's lovely. So people who are like have no idea how to go about it, but want to do something towards the nature, they can probably join your tribe
Yes,
and start bringing a change.
totally.
Yes. And
Yes,
I
absolutely.
do understand that your future with Recharkha is totally sustainable, because this is a very major step. This would be a giant leap for people to take, and I understand the future is there. But do tell us about your goals and what are you going to do with the future of Recharkha? What are your plans for the future of Recharkha?
So the primary goal and aim of Recharkha is to like, if when all the plastic waste and disposable plastic is vanished from this planet, that is what our
Yes.
goal is. And we are even happy that our work of upcycling will also shut down because of that. That is also okay, because our team can
Yes.
work on some other problems and solving some other problem, right? So that is our
Yes.
primary goal. And our immediate goal is, right now we are about to set up one more production unit of ours near Pune. And we are also expanding our market presence all around the world. So in the country, we are obviously there, most cities, but in the other countries, we are now setting up resellers. Our office, we have an office in Netherlands now. So we would really urge your viewers, if they belong to different cities or different countries and they want to associate with us as resellers or promoters of our products, come
Sure.
associate with us. And
That's
we're
lovely.
obviously in parallel doing multiple awareness programs all around the world. So please associate with us for those as well.
Yes, yes, yes. In fact, I saw a video of yours in which you were telling people to like when they donate the plastics. I would donate is actually not the right word, but yeah, you're doing
Yeah,
something towards it. Yeah. Yes.
yeah, but people are. So right now, originally
Hmm.
when we started, it was a big challenge for us to collect plastic waste because waste pickers were not collecting this kind of waste because it doesn't fetch them anything. So they don't
Yes.
collect this kind of waste. But today, a lot of people are sending us their waste. So
Hmm.
they collect it at home, clean it up, dry it, and pack it together and send it by courier on their own expense. So I
Wow.
always say that we are not going to pay for anything because it is your waste. And
Yes.
it is your guilt which you are trying to satisfy
Yes.
by sending it to us.
Wash it out.
We are not going to pay. We
Yes,
are not
yes,
going to pay
yes.
for it. We didn't create that waste. It is you
Yes,
who created it. You better pay for it.
yes. And you also mentioned that in fact you don't want these waste to come in anymore. So that the people
Yeah.
start looking for yes.
So we don't encourage. So we all
Hmm.
in all our social media handles also we always say that we don't encourage you to create more waste.
Hmm.
It's a very bad message if people think that we are here to upcycle. So keep on creating more waste. We don't want to do that.
Yes, of course.
That's the whole
So
idea.
that's yes. So great, Amita. Always, as they say, you just need a spark to begin something really big. And you have
Yeah.
been a spark. You have been the spark to many people out there, and also to bring a great societal change towards the nature and also for a better future for the world. So
Thank you so
Wominspiria
much.
takes pride to have connected with you and having gotten your insights and the lovely message that you're trying to give to the future. Lovely. I wish you all
Thank
success
you.
and also to your team who has been really, really striving to bring in a great change to the society. Thank you very much for being a part of my podcast today.
Thank you, Revati.
Yes.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you very much, Amita. Bye-bye. Take care.
Enough taking vows and postponing resolutions. It's time we start realizing that plastic does not belong to our planet. Only we do, and our nature does. To let me know how you felt about today's episode, send me an email at wominspiria@gmail.com. Wominspiria pages can be found in LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can watch the video podcasts in YouTube. There's a Wominspiria Tamil podcast as well, in which you can listen to the inspirational stories in Tamil. Also, I have a podcast in which I converse with my child about everything under the sun. It's called Shashu and Amma. So until next time, be the change you want to see in the world. This is Revati signing off from Wominspiria, contagiously inspiring. Thank you very much.